Lori Watkins was President Obama's deputy political director in Florida. Robin Biro is a former Obama campaign regional director. And Marie Harf was a State Department spokesperson in the Obama administration. Welcome to all of you. Good to have you here.
Thanks, Martha.
It's curious, and we should point out that, not endorsing is not that unusual at this stage of the game from President Obama. However, I don't know that these other people would be so outspoken on this issue if President Obama felt, much differently than they do. Lori, let me start with you. What do you think?
So one thing I can say, working for President Obama in his administration on both of his campaigns, is that the team itself, whether on the campaign or in the administration, we're extremely disciplined. What I am not quite seeing out of the Biden campaign yet is discipline. I will agree with David Axelrod that his campaign schedule is too light. I understand he's had some family commitments that were important, but you get right back on the road and you get out there and you got to do what you got to do, which is engaging and meeting with voters.
Robin, what do you think? I mean, what do you think about the assessment that there seems to be a lot of negativity coming from a lot of these former Obama players?
Honestly, Martha, I'm not all that surprised. We've got a huge field of candidates right now, and they're all really struggling to at least get their messages out there and heard. Many of us are just wanting to get to the debates before we make up our minds. I served, of course, on the Obama-Biden campaign, and I myself haven't made up my mind. Joe Biden was lovely to me and my family several times, but he's not just going to walk right into this. He has to fight and earn each and every single vote, Martha, and he's just not there.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing to you, Marie. Where is the confidence in this person who was side by side with President Obama for 8 years?
Yeah, it's interesting. All of us who worked on those Obama-Biden campaigns, as all of us did, have a lot of affection for him and a lot of respect for him. Yeah. But we also have to remember that the last campaign they ran together was 8 years ago. And I've been traveling this country over the past month talking to voters. I'm now working for another presidential candidate, Seth Moulton. And as we talk to voters, what I'm hearing from Democrats is that they are ready for the next generation of leaders to step up. They want to look forward, not back. They're looking for those new leaders. And I think that explains a lot of what you're hearing from people. They're ready for that next generation to really take the mantle of the party.
Yeah, Lori, I guess one of the questions is if all of these people who were so close to the administration and worked in it as you all did, who do you like better than Joe Biden, Lori?
Well, there's a tremendous field of female candidates out there that are just kicking butt. Elizabeth Warren is increasing in the polls every single week. She's giving Bernie Sanders a run for his money. I also have enjoyed seeing what Senator Kamala Harris has to say. She came out with an education plan today to help increase incentives for teachers and teacher pay. So you'll see more and more of these candidates coming out with policies and plans. And as a former policy director, I think Vice President Biden, he really needs to go out there, and if you're going to attach your name to President Barack Obama, talk about all of the amazing, wonderful things that helped Americans. Talk about those policies. I haven't heard about, hardly any of the good things that we did. Without just attaching his name.
Well, I'm curious. Do you think that Joe Biden will last? Do you think that, David Axelrod suggested that he could spin out? Do you think, Robin, let me go around the horn here. Lori, do you think that he goes the distance here?
I want to jump in.
Think that
I thought, honestly.
All right, Robin, jump in. Then we're going to go ahead. Quickly, Robin.
I thought, honestly, that his campaign would die of attrition, that his best day would be his first. You saw, of course, an 8-point bump after he announced, which surprised me. But I still think that he stands the risk of dying by attrition.
What do you think? Let me go back to you, Lori.
So I think that, he had a strong start, but you build off that momentum. You don't take, an easy, road and feel like you're too comfortable that you have it locked up. Clearly, that is not the case. He needs to get out there and engage with voters as soon as humanly possible.
Very interesting. I'm hearing a lot of criticism for this candidate. Marie, and he's way ahead in the head-to-head matchup right now, which, we all know is a long way off. But Biden's doing quite well right now, and you seem to be very unhappy with your leader.
Well, I think it's worth remembering, Martha, that voters don't go to the polls to start picking our nominee until February. That's 9 months from
Absolutely.
today. At this point in 2016, Donald Trump wasn't even in the race yet. So these polls, honestly, a lot of it's name ID. They don't mean a ton when it comes to who's going to be ahead in February. And I'm actually very proud that we have a very diverse group of candidates running alongside the person I'm working for, but leaders of our party like Joe Biden and others. But there's a lot of months between now and February, and I do think a lot of candidates are in it for the long haul.
Yeah, but Marie, can you answer the question? Do you think that ultimately Joe Biden will be the candidate, will be the nominee?
I'm working for another candidate, so
That's
candidly,
true.
I probably think that my boss is going to be the nominee. But I think Joe Biden is certainly a competitive candidate to be our nominee, and certainly is in that top group of people. And I think he'll be in for quite a long time.
I mean, why? Since you brought it up, Seth Moulton may not even make it to the debate, given where he is right now. What do you think about that, Marie?
Well, Seth knew getting into this race pretty late in the game that he probably wouldn't make the first debate. But I think what he's also realized, and what I've realized talking to voters over this past month, is that these DNC debate metrics aren't what's going to decide the nominee. It's actually voters on the ground. And between now and next February, so much can happen in politics. And what Seth is focused on is talking to voters. We've been traveling all the early states. He's getting a great reception on the ground. That matters more
it's going to be tough to break through if you're not getting into those debates. So we'll see what happens. Here's the president on the poll numbers, which we all agree are a long way out. But he doesn't believe what he's seeing with Joe Biden out way ahead right now. Watch this.
No, because we have great internal polling. They were fake polls that were released by somebody that it's ridiculous. No, we are winning in every single state that we've polled. We're winning in Texas very big. We're winning in Ohio very big. We're winning in Florida very big. We do very little polling because I'm not a huge believer in polling. I think you go out there and you fight, and you don't really need polls. You need ideas.
Lori, what do you think?
So your show, everybody, all the commentators, we come on here and talk about polls every single day. So it's funny that the president doesn't, go by polls. I think that's absurd. I know he goes by polls. But I think going back to Joe Biden, I think that he needs to start operating on all four cylinders and really, ramp up this campaign along with all of the other candidates as well. Start talking about the policies and engage with voters.
I hear you. I hear you all. Thank you very much. Great having you with us. And we'll see where it goes. Thank you all.